Hey everyone, I'm back today with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make my meatloaf. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. I probably don't make my meatloaf like everybody else make theirs, but I'm going to show you the way I do it. You're going to need a big bowl. You're going to need, of course, hamburger meat. And this is almost a 4-pound package from IGA. So I'm going to make a pretty big size one. Okay. And I'll be using bell pepper and onion, which I've already chopped up for the sake of time. That's a whole onion and a whole bell pepper. And you can chop it as chunky or as thin as you'd like. I'm going to be using 3 eggs. And my seasoning that I will be using is going to be accent, black pepper, lemon pepper. I have some adobo seasoning. I have my Flavor God's garlic lover seasoning, garlic powder. I have my Flavor God everything seasoning. And I have some complete seasoning. Now, you don't have to put all of this inside of your meatloaf, but this is just the seasonings that I use for mine. And I'll also be using some ketchup. So the first thing I'm going to do will be to go ahead and get my meatloaf in this bowl. And I'm wondering if I should use another one of my bigger bowls, because this is a pretty big size pack of hamburger meat, but we're going to see. Make sure your hands are clean. I've already washed mine before I started the video, but you want to make sure that your hands are clean, because you will have to use your hands to mix this. Some things you can use your utensils, but for a meatloaf you're going to have to use your hands to get in and mix it up. Now some people put breadcrumbs or bread. I don't do that to mine. So what you're going to do, you're just going to want to break your meat apart. This is one of my mother's favorite dish, and my son that I make is the meatloaf. They both love this. And she always say, I can't make it like you make it. But there's things that she make that I can't make. She makes some good barbecue chicken on top of the stove. And I haven't been able to perfect that the way she has, but I guess everybody have their own dish that they're good at making. But no matter what dish you make, you have to make sure you season your food well. If you don't season it, it's not going to have any taste. Okay, so I got this almost done. Y'all, I probably do need my bigger bowl. Yep, I'm going to need my bigger bowl, because by the time I get ready to mix this up, it's going to be jam-packed. So see, that bowl is already full. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to wash my hands because I've been handling this raw meat. And I'm going to put the video on pause, and I'll come back once I switch my bowl out. Y'all stay tuned. Okay, y'all, so I'm back. Y'all won't be able to see down in this bowl, but I've changed bowls. I got a deeper bowl so that I don't have to worry about this meat and stuff falling out or spilling over. So I'm going to pull you back out some. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I think I'm going to go ahead and start putting my seasonings in. Now, y'all, I don't measure. I just sprinkle. So if I had to give you a measurement, I would tell you to use a teaspoon of whatever it is that you're using to season your food. Now this accent, it is a flavor enhancer. It's not salty, and it won't make your food salty. So you can sprinkle a liberal amount of that and not have to worry about it. As a matter of fact, I want to say most of my seasonings I use are powders. This one says it has salt, but it's sea salt, so that's a good salt. I don't use regular salt because it makes me swell. So I just sprinkle some in for the amount of meat that I have. And I'm going to do that with each one. That was my garlic. This is my complete seasoning. I'm going to sprinkle some of that. This is my lemon pepper. I love lemon pepper. I'm going to sprinkle some of that. Okay. And this is my Flavor God's Everything seasoning. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of that. All of these seasonings I have, like I say, they are either with sea salt or no salt. They're not high in sodium content. And this is my adobo by Goya. You can use that for meat, veggies, pretty much anything. Okay. Now, I'm going to use my black pepper. I'm going to sprinkle a little inside, and then I'm going to use some on the top once I'm done and get ready to start baking it. Okay, so that's all my seasonings. Now I'm going to go ahead and go in with my onions and my bell peppers. I'm using all of it because this is such a pretty big pack of meat. Now I'm going to go in with my 3 eggs. And I did let them sit out and get to room temperature, because once you start mixing this, if you use those cold eggs out of the refrigerator, your finger's going to be hurting. Number 2. And most people, y'all, they'll crack their eggs in a bowl. And that's a good practice. I don't. I should, but I don't. I always try to make sure that I look once it's cracked and make sure that the egg isn't bad. Because you don't want to get a bad egg or shells in your bowl. And I'm just rinsing my hands from that egg, y'all. I have some dishwater right here beside me. So excuse me for reaching over this camera. Okay. Now I am getting ready to go in with my ketchup. I use Heinz, Hunt's, any kind I have. I'll use the off-brand. Ketchup is ketchup to me. I ain't picky when it comes to that. I don't measure this either. I just sprinkle some in. So now this is what it looks like before I start mixing. So now I'm going to go in with my hands, and all you're going to do is just try to get it all combined to the point that it is all mixed in. You want your seasonings, your veggies, and your egg and ketchup, your wet ingredients, to get all well combined. And you'll just have to keep doing that until it gets to a point where you have a big, it's going to be like a big ball. So what you do with your hand is you pull it from the bottom to the top, and you just keep doing that until you get it all mixed and well incorporated. Like I said, I don't use breadcrumbs. I don't want bread in my meatloaf. Some people use it. I used to, but after I got to the point where I knew I didn't like the taste of it in it, I stopped putting it in there. And some people will say, well, if you don't use the breadcrumbs or some type of bread, it's going to fall apart, or it's going to bust apart when it cooks. Well, mine never break apart. And like I said, I never use breadcrumbs. I know one time I did make some, and that was years ago. Oh Lord, when I was married to my first husband. That's been over 30 years ago, y'all. One time I made a meatloaf, and I didn't have breadcrumbs. So what I did, I had some regular cornflakes, and I crushed them, and I used that, and it turned out pretty good. So, I mean, there's no right or wrong way to make a meatloaf, or any dish for that fact. You just have to fix it according to what you like. So, anytime I show you something that I'm making, if you don't like some of the seasonings that I'm using, just leave it out and just add what you like. Okay, y'all, I think I got this to the point where I want it to be. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Then I'm gonna go ahead and transfer it to my baking dish. Get it in the oven. Okay. So this is what it's looking like. You see, it's not loose anymore. It's all well put together. So, y'all, I didn't realize it. I know it was hot though. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring over my dish that I'm going to be baking it in. And this is a casserole dish. It's what I normally bake mine in. And I think it is, whew, it's so old I can't even tell the inches. But it's, I want to think it's a 9 by 13. Could be something else, but anyway, we're going to go with that. Okay. So now, all I'm going to do is get all of that out of this bowl and put it in this dish so that I can go ahead and shape it. And all you're going to do is start forming it into the shape of a loaf. You make it as thick or as thin as you want it. It's totally up to you. This is your dish. I'm just going to show you how I do mine. Try to make sure you seal up any open spots that may look like it's cracking loose. Just take your hand and seal it up. Okay, so now I'm going to slide this around so that I can get this other side shaped. Okay, like I said, you're going to make it into a loaf. You make it as thick or as thin as you would have it. So usually what I do with mine is that I'll make it long, oblong shaped first, and then I go in and kind of pat it out. There we go. And mind you, this is going to shrink down when it starts cooking. It always do. Any kind of hamburger or turkey. And y'all, you can even use ground turkey if you don't like hamburger meat. Ground turkey does not agree with my stomach. I made a meatloaf out of that one time, y'all, and I could not eat it. My family was able to eat it, but I couldn't digest it. So, and it could be because I don't have a gallbladder. I'm not sure. I just know it didn't agree with me, so I'm sticking with hamburger meat. Okay, so let me wash my hands. I'm going to pull this out so I can get to the sink. Let me get my hands washed so that I can... I have bleach in this water, y'all. I always put bleach in my dishwater to make sure my hands are clean. And I'm going to show you how I season the top of it and get it ready for the oven. Okay. Gotta always keep your hands washed whenever you're in the kitchen. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you back out that way. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sprinkle a little of my accent across the top of it. And some people don't like ketchup on theirs. My family love it, so that's what we're going to do. And you don't have to do this, but I just like to do this. Some people make a topping for theirs. I don't care for a topping. I just sprinkle my ketchup on like so. And just let it bake in while it's baking. Get myself a spoon. You can use a spoon or a fork. Okay, so this is what I did. And I'm just going to take my spoon, the back of my spoon, and just kind of smooth it over, down on the sides, on the top and on the sides, that's all. And you don't want to put a whole lot of water in this because it's going to form some water and it's going to release some of that fat out of the hamburger meat whenever it start cooking. I always drain the fat off of mine because you don't want to feed your family that. You don't want to digest it. Okay. So now I got that part of it done, and I'm going to sprinkle in some black pepper over the top, and it is ready for the oven. I have my oven already preheated at 350 degrees, so it's ready for me to go ahead and put it in there. Now just let me get my throat is dry, excuse me. Let me get just a little bit of water to put in the bottom of my dish. Excuse me, y'all, my throat dry. Allergies. So I'm going to put just a little bit of water on both sides of my dish, and I'll show you. See, just a very little bit of water, and this is what it's looking like. So it's ready to go in the oven, y'all, and I will be back whenever it's done, and I'll let you know how long it took to cook. Stay tuned. Okay, y'all, so here is my final product. Hope you guys can see that. Let me step back some. That is it. How to make meatloaf. And I cooked it for, I put it in at like 4:30. I think I cooked it for about 45 to 50 minutes. But you can tell when it's done because you can tell the texture of the meat. So thank y'all for tuning in. I would like for you to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And share this video with anyone that you think would love seeing it. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button. Give me a like. Give me a comment. And let me know something else you'd like to see me cook. And thank you for tuning in to Simply Carolyn. Good night.